If you're someone like me who's not super into routines, habits, but you still want to achieve results in life, then this video is for you. I feel like I'm someone who's generally disciplined, but sometimes I tend to rebel against myself and I actually stop doing the things that I said I would do. So I feel like this makes me have a very complicated relationships with habits, routines, and consistency. But in the last 2 years, I've been really consistent with morning routine, with eating healthy, doing workouts, doing well with finances, and now with content creation as well. I feel like a lot of these things, once I became consistent with them, that's really when I saw the results that I wanted. So in today's video, this is what I would like to talk about. I would like to talk about how to be consistent in life, even if you're someone who actually hates routines. But as usual, we have to discuss why you're not consistent, why even though you have watched millions of videos or read so many blogs on consistency, productivity, why you're still not consistent in the thing that you want to work on. Now, I personally think that there are 3 reasons for this. The first reason is that you don't really care about this thing. In the productivity world, there are so many videos on waking up at 5 a.m. and doing all these crazy morning routines where you have to wake up at 5 a.m., doing a run, doing cold shower, and all of these fancy morning tricks or whatever to have a very productive day. But the problem is that if you don't care about your health, if you don't care the thing that you want to work on, you are not going to be consistent at it. Maybe superficially you say that you care, but I think deep down, if you really cared, it won't be as hard. So just to give you an example, I personally don't care about getting muscles, and that's why I'm not consistent at going to the gym. Every time I try to go to the gym, I do it for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but then I don't really end up doing it long term. As opposed to when I do my yoga, I can do it every single day. And this is because I care a lot about the benefits of doing yoga first thing in the morning. I feel that I'm putting in the movement that I need first thing in the morning. And I also care about feeling balance and the energy it gives me right after. And going to the gym, lifting weights, I've done it for years and I know the benefits, but it just doesn't give me the same feeling as doing yoga. So you have to care about the thing that you are working on in the first place before you even try to be consistent at it. The second reason you're not consistent is because you haven't customized your habits, routines, your lifestyle to your liking. As much as I love living in a digital age, I think it's a double-edged sword because while there are so many information out there that you can kind of listen to, at the same time, we get confused as to what advice to listen to because there are so many contradictory advices out there. When you haven't customized your habits, routine, or your lifestyle to your liking, what we end up doing is that we actually listen to other people's advice on the internet. And then when you can't do what they tell you to do and you can't stick to it, you get disappointed, you get demotivated, and you end up getting back into this cycle of doing really hard things and then giving up, and then doing things again and then giving up. So you're in this vicious cycle. And because you haven't customized your routines, your habits to your liking, you end up listening to other people, and whatever is working for them might not necessarily work out for you. So when you do things that are working out for other people and it's not working for you, you tend to get disappointed or demotivated because you think that you're not good enough to do these hard things, when in reality you just haven't taken the time to actually sit down and actually figure out, how can I make this thing work for me? The third reason of why you're inconsistent is probably the root of all inconsistencies out there, is that is the story that you are telling yourself. If you think on a daily basis, I'm inconsistent, I'm unproductive, I'm undisciplined, guess what identity you're going to have for you? Guess what behavior is going to manifest in your day-to-day life? Because you have embodied this identity of the person that I'm inconsistent, I'm unproductive, I'm undisciplined, that is the action that's going to happen in real life. And that is the story that you are choosing to tell yourself. So you have to change the story that you are telling yourself when it comes to consistency. Instead of thinking I'm inconsistent, you can start telling yourself, I'm working on becoming a consistent person on X. I'm working on becoming a consistent person on this other thing. And slowly, hopefully, you will naturally identify yourself as someone who's consistent in that thing that you want to work on. So these are the reasons of why you are inconsistent in life. And I really hope that you take the time on asking yourself, why am I not consistent? Instead of going to the steps of how to become consistent, actually sit down and think for yourself, why am I like this? Why am I inconsistent? Because there has to be a reason that you are not working towards your goal. And from there, you can actually start changing that. And then the consistency will naturally naturally happen on its own. So now that you know why you're inconsistent in life or in general, we can actually talk about how to be consistent in any area of your life. Step 1, pick one area of your life to work on. So ever since I was young, I would be obsessed about one thing until I became good at it. So when I was 13 years old, I wanted to play guitar, and I did that by actually having a guitar and going on YouTube every single day, and I learned how to read chords and play chords until one day I was able to play a Taylor Swift song. And I did this throughout my childhood. I taught myself how to edit on Photoshop, how to speak Spanish, how to do so many things. 3 years ago, I taught myself how to invest. And now, 3 years later, my husband and I have a 6-figure investment portfolio. With all of these experiences in life, I've come to the conclusion that consistency is basically a skill. It is something that you can learn. It is not something that you have or you don't have. It's something that you can practice. But I also think that I wouldn't have been able to have the results that I have if I didn't stick to one thing. If I had learned guitar, crochet, Photoshop, investing all at one time, I would not have been competent in any of them. I wouldn't have progressed if this was a level, if there's different levels when it comes to learning. So if you want to be consistent in life, you have to pick one thing to work on every single year, or at least for a very specific period of time. When you decide to pick on one specific area of your life to work on for that specific period of time, you basically have these blinders that you are going to focus on this thing until you're competent at it, or until you achieve whatever skill or competency you want to achieve for that specific skill before you can actually move on to the next thing. And so what happens is that when you have this obsession or this blinder on, you can actually say no to everything that is distracting you from achieving your goal. And that's how you become consistent. The second step is to customize your habits and routine for you. If you have watched my past videos, you know that I'm a big advocate for getting to know yourself. And the reason that I'm a big advocate of this whole thing is so that you can customize your behaviors, your routines, your lifestyle to work for you instead of against you. There is no point in following Andrew Huberman's perfect morning routine if the things that he's saying in there is not working out for you. It doesn't matter if this is the best or science-backed thing that you could possibly achieve or to have the most productive day. If it's not working for you, it's just not going to be sustainable and you're not going to be consistent at it. If you want your morning to be hardcore, if you want your morning to be intense, then customize it in a way that's going to work out for you. Incorporate HIIT workouts, incorporate running routine, incorporate lifting weights or cardio, whatever it is. But if you want your mornings to be slow and you want to ease into the day with gentleness and calmness, then incorporate yoga, breath work, meditation, journaling. There are so many things out there that is available for you, but you don't have to follow whatever is trending or whatever other people are talking about. Those tools are there for you so that you can pick and choose. Just because you're doing cardio or someone else is doing cardio and you're not doing that doesn't mean that they're right. You will still get the benefits of movement first thing in the morning, but you are just doing it in your own way. And when you're doing it your own way, you're having fun. And when you're having fun, you're going to be consistent at it. Let's give you another example. Let's say you want to build a habit of investing or saving up. Right now, my husband and I save up about $1,000 every single month for travel. And that's about $12,000 per year. But with that $12,000 a month, we go 2 to 4 weeks in a specific country 3 to 4 times a year. So that's almost 4 months of traveling per year. Some of our friends think that we are crazy for spending that much money on traveling. But the truth is that we have customized our lifestyle to our liking. And because we have customized this, we have set up the system or the habit, which is saving up $1,000 every month so that we can consistently travel. The goal when you're trying out different things that you are seeing from online or consuming is that you actually take note of what's working for you. Keep what resonates with you and then dump the rest of it. Don't listen to the stuff that are not working for you. You have to learn how to customize everything for you because only you know yourself. You'll be consistent at the thing that you're doing when you feel aligned to it or when you feel like this is you, when you feel expanded and you feel joyful and you feel like this is right for me. You'll be inconsistent at the things you're doing when you feel like this is not me. This is not what I would want to do if I had the choice. And the truth is you have that choice. You can always pick the things that are good for you or that are working for you. A very small tip that I have for you when it comes to knowing what's good for you or what feels natural for you is to kind of listen to your body. So when it feels expanded, it feels like a relief or a sigh, that means that this is something that you are in agreement with or that you are aligned with, as opposed to when you're thinking something and if it doesn't feel like it's hits you, or it feels like you're contracted, or it hurts somewhere in your core or in your belly, that just means that this thing is not who you are, or it's not aligned to you, and that's totally okay. The third step when it comes to becoming consistent is to create systems. Let me give you another example when it comes to finance, because I think finance, everyone can relate to it. Right now, my husband and I, finances are pretty much automated. Every dollar that will come into our bank account is accounted for. There will be money that will go into the rent, into the mortgage, into the groceries or the credit card debts, and then there will be money that will go towards the travel bucket, and then there will be money that will go towards savings, retirement. So it's all accounted for. Because we want to take advantage of the compounding effect of the whole investing process, we needed to create a system in order to achieve that. And by creating this system, we don't have to question our decisions every single month, asking ourselves, how much money should we put into our investment account this month? How much money should we put in our savings this month? That whole thing is non-existent because we have created the system. But in order to develop the system, we actually had to sit down and figure out how much on a monthly basis do we spend on our daily expenses or expenditures? How much on a monthly basis do we want to spend on travel? How much on a monthly basis do we want to put in our retirement so that we can achieve our retirement goal? For every aspect of your life that you are trying to improve or trying to be consistent in, you need to be asking yourself difficult questions at the very beginning to lay the groundwork so that you can actually become consistent at the thing you are doing. If you don't know how to create systems for anything that you want to work on in your life, I suggest reading the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. I'm sure you've heard of it, and actually follow the book to the T. I've embraced systemizing everything in my life when it comes to content creation, finances, even meal planning. Everything is systemized because it just removes the decision making. It removes the whole, I don't know what I want to do, or I don't know what I'm doing, so that you can actually just focus on executing the plans and ideas that you actually want. And in general, this just saves time and energy in the future. The fourth tip or step that I have for you is to always know what you're working towards. It is so easy to get distracted in life, especially in the age of social media where everything and everyone is telling you what to do. This is why it's so important to know what you are working towards. When you know exactly what you are working towards, you'll be naturally more consistent at it. For example, I'm trying to build a financially independent life, and I have to make sure that I am doing my best to be consistent in the things that I'm doing in order to actually make that happen. It doesn't matter if I'm doing blogging, if I'm doing YouTube, if I'm doing coaching or other stuff on social media. As long as I am working towards that thing that I want, it doesn't matter how I'm doing it. The most important thing is that I am consistent and walking towards that path. Another reason why this is so important is because there will be days where you don't feel like doing the things that you want. There will be days where you don't feel like showing up to your dreams. But when you know exactly what you're working towards, where you're clear on the vision, on the results, on the success that you are striving for, it is so much easier to show up. It's so much easier to be excited on your day-to-day basis and actually do things to actually make this happen. And on those days where you feel like giving up, or maybe you don't feel as motivated, it's okay. You can give up for a day or two or maybe a week, and then you'll fall right back in. You'll still be consistent. You have to zoom out. You can't look at this in a 3-week, 6 months, or even 1-year period. You have to look at this in a 10-year period. How consistent are you in showing up for your dreams? Essentially, what you're working towards is going to be your anchor in your day-to-day life. If your goal is to become financially independent, you have to ask yourself, is this thing that I'm doing right now going to lead there? Is that thing that I want to do going to lead there? You always have to constantly ask this question. Step number 5 is to make it a lifestyle. One mindset shift that you can apply in this whole thing is to remember that this is a lifestyle. You're not trying to be consistent at the gym so that you can have a 6-pack, because what's going to happen after that? Are you going to go back to your old habits? I'm sure you're not. You're going to keep going to the gym, eating healthy, and doing the things to maintain your health. So this whole consistency thing is a lifestyle change. And because it's a lifestyle change, you have to make it sustainable for you. Let's say, for example, your goal is to become a content creator. What is it about your lifestyle right now that what actually needs to change in order to become consistent at this? Are you filming yourself? Are you writing down your ideas? Are you putting efforts into learning how to become a successful creator? What is it about your lifestyle that needs to change so that you can become consistent at it? These are all very tiny things that happens on your day-to-day life that it feels like they're nothing, but at the end of it, when you zoom out 2-3 years from now or 5 years from now, they all add up. The last tip I have for you when it comes to becoming consistent in your life is to lean into your natural strengths. When I started writing content on Medium, I didn't know that I had a knack for writing, or I didn't know that I could write. All I knew is that every time I wrote, it felt so natural. It always felt like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what I'm meant to do. And when I actually leaned into that feeling, I saw results. I grew a following on Medium. I became a freelance writer, and this all happened in such a short period amount of time. But this is all because I leaned into my natural strength. I became consistent at writing because it felt natural to me. So if you're having trouble being consistent, maybe you're not leaning into the things that are natural for you. Maybe you think the things that come naturally to you are not the good things, but actually they're the ones that will maybe propel your growth. So lean into them. I feel like that the universe is literally giving you signs of what you need to be doing or what you need to be putting your efforts in, and you're just not listening. So if you haven't reflected, I really suggest that you take a pause and actually think for yourself what comes easy to me, what's natural for me, and those are your strengths, and actually let it guide you towards the things that you want to be doing, and then you can be consistent at it. Anyways, I really hope that this video motivated you to become consistent for the rest of the year, and I hope that you be kind to yourself, you take it one day at a time, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.